We'll be back from the break, and this is Smart Main's Business, and of course, you are watching your daily Kickstarter here on Smart 24 TV. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko at this hour with only 1 minute past the off clock of 8 in the AM. Let's get into the business tips and the motivation from the business quote. We start off with the business tip. The business tip says diversify. If you get more than 50% of your business from one customer or distribution channel, diversify. Don't become overly dependent on one source for your long-term economic well-being. This is what the tip is saying. Please diversify. If you get more than 50% of your business from one customer or one distribution channel, you should diversify. You should not become overly dependent on one source for your long-term economic well-being, because you see, you get to realize that if you do, it will be very worse for you to diversify or to at least become dependent or grow your business. So try to realize that you have to grow your customer base. You have to as well get more clients that are going to be attached to your business, not only looking at one major source of client base. So this tip is actually also getting open to the employees out there that do not only focus on the salary you're getting from your current employer, because one time you may lose the job and you will need a plan B. So it's always better to at least have a side hustle, a side gig, or at least something you do in the meantime or in your casual time or when you're off work, so that at the end of it all, you can definitely engage in activations that will see you expand all your businesses grow. So that is what the tip is telling us: diversify. Now, besides the tip, let's get our motivation from the business quote. Now, the business quote is coming in from Seneca. Luck is a matter of preparation meeting opportunity. It is what Seneca says, that luck is a matter of preparation which meets the opportunity. So you are only lucky if you're prepared. So the opportunity only hits you when you are prepared, and then it will be called luck. Sometimes it's luck, literally not luck or anything, but it's the opportunity that hits you after different hassles of making sure that you've prepared yourself as an individual. So preparations are very, very important for you. Of course, sometimes we attribute certain things to luck, but of course, luck will not only hit someone out of the blue. It only hits those who are prepared, because if it was hitting you out of the blue, then it would not be luck. So it's only luck when it hits you and you are definitely ready to at least be hit as an individual. So that is what this tip is telling us at this moment, that luck only hits one. It's just an opportunity that hits you when you are prepared. But well, beside the same situation as we continue is how prepared are you for 2023? Well, I can give you a more advanced way to get prepared. Use the star code, the USSD code *292#. And then you can follow the prompts to kickstart off your investment journey. And of course, that is how you start your preparations for 2023, by investing in bonds and securities. This is a platform by Altex East Africa which says do something new. So Zabo, my money, my future, giving you that opportunity to at least invest in that particular financial market space. And that is a way that you will be able to position yourself ably well, not only into the financial space, but also in the investment journey of Uganda. With just a minimum of 15,000 Ugandan shillings, you will definitely kickstart off your investment journey. I mean, with just 15,000 Ugandan shillings, that is very simple and very secure for you to kickstart off your investment journey. Now, the opening time on these particular Zabo markets is 8:15 a.m. and the closing time is definitely 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. So please do note that these markets are only closed on public holidays and during weekends. So the rest of the days you'll be able to invest during the period of 3:15 a.m., of 8:15 a.m. and 3:15 p.m. in the East African Community Standard Time. So that is it. Zabo is powered by Altex East Africa, which says do something new. So we're only left with only 9 minutes and these markets will be open. So get ready, get your phone up, and of course try to put your investments into something viable for your growth as well as the business. And at this particular time, as we head into our next business update, as we look at the private sector and, of course, the ICT sector in it, the innovators have been called upon to put more efforts in developing things, as ICT is likely to create more job opportunities for those who have skilled up in that sector. You see, the idea here with ICT is basically to mention is basically rotating around one thing: scaling up. It is a very competitive sector, but of course, if you look at one of the key things that you need to at least identify in this particular sector, it is something that we need to at least understand that one, you need to have the rightful skills, you need to upgrade yourself, or if very possible, you can go for a short course in the ICT sector because it's one of the most vibrant within the entire world, and because it creates opportunities. And it's when you look at the fact that most of the fast growing economies have already adopted to the use of ICT in different sectors as well, because it does offer vast opportunities. Now, growth in the sector is furthermore supported by solid legal and regulatory frameworks. If you to look at that, it is also connected to 3 marine fiber optic cables of Africa. That is Africa's east coast in the Indian Ocean. That is Uganda's ICT sector. We are connected to 3 marine fiber optics cables of the Africa's east coast in the Indian Ocean, of the port of Mombasa coming through here. And ICT in Uganda is under the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. So this is where enhancing of ICT skills follows up. There is also vocational development, effective communication and national guidance, as well as strengthening cybersecurity in our country. So not only implementing data knowledge amongst the young people, but especially looking at the fact that we as Ugandans need to utilize these opportunities. And the ICT ministry in Uganda was established in 2006. And the ministry was mandated to provide, and is still mandated to provide, leadership, coordination, support, and advocacy in the formulation of policies, laws, regulations, and strategies for those engaging in the information communication technology or ICT sector in Uganda. This, on the other hand, is to foster national development and the agenda of the national development goals at the end of it all, and at the other expenses. Well, on the other hand, when you look through it throughout the entire, if you look at some of the highlights from the ICT sector, including the military police, which is actually rooted for ICT training amongst the sector of security. Then there's also one of the other things that the ICT minister did comment, the former ICT minister, that is Nantaba, did comment on the Electronic Commission website. And of course, these are some of the other key crises that was settled on the ICT sector. But also, there's a lot coming in from the ICT sector in Uganda. And with the current financial year 2022-2023, the ICT sector, it being one of the most dominant sectors in the country, because it opens up quite a number of opportunities for even the young people who form up the highest population in the country currently. It is one that the government has also centered its focus on, if we are to look for all focus on the development of the country. And in our update this morning, we get to realize how the private sector is positioning itself ably well with the ICT. So it is just a kind of situation of the private sector vis-a-vis ICT. Let's have it.
That in our education system, we churn out several graduates annually, and most of them do not have the technical competence and market-oriented expertise required by public and private sectors. What do I mean? Even just saying good morning to you all is in a lanky way. That is not what the private sector wants. So the reason we are putting up these programs here is to promote and build your capacity to the level that is acceptable by the private sector or by various employers across the globe. participating in the job transformation ecosystem of this country. Of course, I cannot forget all the other partners that we have tied knots with. The MTNS program is an economic empowerment campaign targeted towards the mass of the youth that we have in Uganda. This campaign, as earlier mentioned by Sylvia, I will reiterate because I want you to get it on your fingertips. The MTN Work Readiness Program, the MTN Innovation Program, and the MTN Youth Skilling Program. The second program, that is the Innovation Program, focuses on the National ICT Innovation Hub and will mainly center around business development, capacity building, and advisory services for ICT innovators facing challenges with workspace, connectivity, creative spaces, and ideation. I think when we're going to Dubai, we prepared the innovators that we went to on how to present their products, how to present their innovations, how to sell themselves, and how to hold themselves confident. And indeed, some of the partnerships we see today came out of, the Dubai Expo that we had. As a country, we still have a long way to go when it comes in the innovation ecosystem. However, we shall always have a starting point. And ours is right here today as we are launching this program. There has been a challenge of job placements after the digital skilling has been done. And with this program, we have tried to bridge these gaps and many others concerning the innovation ecosystem. We don't want you to have jobs only in Uganda, but we want you to work globally, but right here from home. I think as this was evident with the virtual tour that we had, we know that you can sit anywhere and be able to explore and tour, so we can promote tourism, we can promote agriculture, we can promote education, and so many other things, as well as, telemedicine. Sylvia, this is to you. Last week, I welcomed you to Uganda. I said, Karibu Sana. Today, I welcome you to get our hands dirty. And indeed, we already have, because as we start doing the virtual tour, you committed and offered that we should do many other things in regard to what the tour had given us. So as you join us today, I am confident that with MTN Uganda and all the partners involved, we shall have a big win on ensuring that we have employment created for our youths in this country.
And of course, when you look at the fact that the private sector and the innovators are being reminded to put in much efforts in developing the ideas that are coming up, well, the government intends and continues to invite key stakeholders in the ICT sector. And one of the major reasons behind why they keep inviting these people is to ably give room for the young generation in the country to at least engage in the activations in ICT. Well, Uganda's ICT sector, I could presumably have one or two things to mention about the idea, about the challenges that most of the people in the sector are facing. One of the reasons is behind the fake products that have always been hitting the Ugandan market. But of course, UCC has a huge drive and a very huge initiative to ensure that this comes to an end, and putting an end to fake products coming onto the market, or counterfeit, you can call it, in the ICT sector. That was another move in 2022 that UCC intends to continue executing. Then also, on the other hand, because most of the Ugandans are also worried about the fact that the internet charges also make it even worse for Ugandans to at least make good use of ICT, especially when it comes to the access to the internet. The data charges are very highly, and the internet speed in some of the regions across the country is relatively low. So it makes it actually even twice as hard to utilize the ICT sector in Uganda. But well, the facilities are there. There's also the innovation hub in Nakawa, this particular one, which was put in place by the Ministry of ICT and Innovation. Now, this particular hub is to at least reinforce skilling up of the young people, the students in the ICT sector, and because literally economies are turning cashless. And when economies go cashless, one of the reasons behind it, and one of the main reasons fueling up the other situation or gassing it up, is the ICT sector, because the devices being used in there are affiliated to the information communication technology sector, and so at the end of it all, you have to expect all these things coming up here and there. But well, if I'm to come through and take you through as well to understand why most schools have already started from primary to now teach Ugandans about computer science or computer technology and all that. Back in the time, it was very rare because of the fact that computer devices are a bit expensive. So it's only the private schools who can manage to at least fit half of a class into the ICT laboratory, because most of the schools, by the way, in Uganda, with the exception of some in Kenya, most of those in Uganda here have close to maybe a computer lab with close to 200 computers, but then still the 200 computers may not be fit for a class that is fit to have 250 computers. And I can as well believe that all of us who've been through Ugandan schools will as well agree with me that apparently in Uganda, computer studies are always having shifts in there. Reason being, the computers or the equipment is less to fit up with all the students who are supposed to be getting these particular services. So there will be a class in the morning, then the other comes in the mid-morning. This is at least if everyone is to get themselves a computer. The computer devices are a bit expensive. Even at the university, you get to realize that most of them do not fit in. That is why most students end up buying their own personal gadgets, of which not all of them can afford. So when you look at the ICT sector, the other reasons behind the challenges that we have, one is the price of the devices, two, the kind of efficiency these devices have, then when it comes to genuine products, are they genuine enough to be used? The internet speed, the other issue there is internet speed. I still believe to get quality internet, you have to be within the region of the capital. And then as you move to the rural settings, I've been seeing people's statuses on WhatsApp and what have you on Twitter, people coming up and saying, well, we are in this area, I'm in Tungamo, I'm in Bara, I'm trying to go uphill to look for network, I'm in Kabale, I'm in Chisoro, looking for network here and there. So you get to realize those are some of the key challenges that these guys are facing. And then also look at the data charges, internet expenses in the country, one of the highest. If you look at on record, within the East African Community region, Uganda has the highest internet costs there are. And of course, government in one way or the other is trying to mitigate these issues and try to cut down the crisis. But of course, not until the internet service providers themselves, speaking of which the communications companies, amongst the others, come together to at least give us rightful answers towards the same issue, it will not be that easy. To at least come there and say, well, this is not happening or this is happening and this will benefit Ugandans or not, or the other way around. So this is coming in from this update of the private sector vis-a-vis the ICT. Well, the private sector has been reminded so heavily that it's very wise of them to continue using ICT and get in touch with the ICT sector. You know why? Because as the economies are moving to the cashless world, the ICT sector has to shape up the country's economy. But not only the private sector, though, also the public sector where the government is, because there's a lot of automation happening in government offices, though it is actually costing some people jobs as the digital migration hits us, and then digital transformation within the countries and within different private sector companies. There's a lot of pressure coming in and pumping into those engaging in those activations. But well, of course, you as an individual, you can also be inclusive of the ICT sector, but the major impact that ICT has is definitely tremendous. But also, how about you skill yourself up with the ICT sector so that you can genuinely benefit from that space? But of course, not only that, how about if you get to understand the world of investment, because Zabu gives you that opportunities. The markets are officially open. The markets are officially open on the Zabu platform, which is powered by Altex East Africa. So use the USSD code *292 or hash and follow the prompts, because Zabu says my money, my future. The minimum amount is 15,000 Uganda shillings. These markets open at 8:15 a.m. They already open. That's a 8:15 in the morning, and then close at 3:15 in the afternoon. 3 p.m. East African Standard Time. The minimum amount of investment is 15,000 Uganda shillings for Zabu. And of course, the markets are only closed on public holidays and during the weekends. So there are chances for you to invest in bonds and securities. Zabu says, my money, my future. And Altex East Africa says, do something new. There you have it. Kickstart of your investment journey today with Zabu. My money, my future. Powered by Altex East Africa. You're watching your daily Kickstarter Smart Minutes. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko. After the break, we shall be returning with sports business. Not only that, though, we also have entertainment business with Barita Andrew coming up shortly after. Stick around.